The Nets have had to deal with their fair share of off-court drama and struggles, but it's getting pretty difficult to deny just how good this team is now that they seem to be firing on all cylinders. They, of course, moved on from former head coach Steve Nash in favor of Jacque Vaughn, and the results have been speaking for themselves. Prior to the firing of Steve Nash, they had the 19th ranked offense with 111.6 points per 100 possessions, the 28th ranked defense with 118.3, and the 28th ranked net rating with -6.7. But since November 1st, the Brooklyn Nets are the 6th best offense in the NBA with a 115.7 offensive rating, the 9th best defensive rating with 110.4, and the 4th best net rating with 5.3. Now, is all of this to say that Steve Nash is the reason why the Nets were playing poorly? No, there's probably a ton of other factors that played into this, like the fact that they are finally reintegrating Seth Curry back into the rotation after his injury, and Joe Harris started to return to form, Kyrie rejoined the team, and overall this team just started to click a lot more under the leadership of Jacque Vaughn. Sometimes a locker room just needs a new face to rally behind when the old coach loses the locker room. They went from having an offense that leaned heavily on the talents of their two primary shot creators in Kevin Durant and Kyrie, to instead now having a more egalitarian approach to their offense, predicated on unselfishness and making sure everything works together in conjunction with one another to make this offense work. I want to focus a little bit on how the Nets are generating their points. Right now, the vast majority of their shots are coming either from beyond the arc or in the mid-range, with only 29.3% of their shots coming at the rim. Their perimeter scoring could honestly not be any better. A huge part of their perimeter scoring game has been predicated on the screening that Nicholas Claxton provides for them. He's really smart about timing his screens when ball handlers are bringing the ball up the floor in order to set them up to dribble into an easy rhythm jumper. His screens seem to do a really good job of catching defenses off guard, and if teams aren't making it a point to hedge on screens, it oftentimes leads to really easy shots. There's a lot more creativity and complexity to their offense now, like on this play where Claxton ghosts this screen, bringing Porzingis into the paint with him, and then Kevin Durant and Royce O'Neal get into the pick and roll. When the defense hedges the pick and roll, Durant makes a nice pass to O'Neal on the roll, bringing over the corner defender to tag him, which leaves Edmund Sumner open in the corner for the shot. Similarly, on this play, KD and Claxton get into the pick and roll with Durant once again finding Claxton on the roll following the hedge, and Claxton drives into the paint to collapse the defense, leaving Harris open in the corner. But instead of pulling the three immediately, Harris makes the extra pass to Thomas on the wing for the shot. Despite not really having a quote-unquote true point guard, their fundamental understanding of how their pick and rolls force defenses to provide help and how that help can open up perimeter opportunities is a staple of what makes this offense so lethal. There's just so much unselfishness as well, like on this play going from Kyrie to O'Neal, back to Kyrie, then back to O'Neal, then to Durant, and then finally to Harris in the corner. Look at how much that all of this passing manipulated the defense to generate that opportunity. Any offense with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on it has the chance to be really, really good, but it's the sum of its parts that really makes this offense what it is. The supporting cast benefits from the gravity of Durant and Kyrie and Durant benefit from the support that the cast provides. You can't have one without the other. Now, you probably noticed in that chart that I showed you earlier in the video that they're taking more shots from the mid-range than they are anywhere else on the floor. Now, in the modern NBA analytics era, in the whole disdain that people have for the mid-range as far as whether or not it's an efficient shot, it's pretty unusual to see a team attempting so many shots in the mid-range, and even more impressive, hitting them as well as the Nets are. You might have heard the saying that 33% from 3 is just as good as shooting 50% from 2. This is because 33% from 3 is the equivalent of 1 point per shot attempt, and 50% from 2 is equal to 1 point per shot attempt. This has led many people to operate under the philosophy that mid-range shots are just not efficient shots, which in most cases is true because you're better off trying to shoot above 50% at the rim or above 33% from 3, which in theory is easier than shooting efficiently enough from the mid-range for it to be worthwhile, especially when you look at the fact that league average mid-range efficiency is 42.4%. That only equates to about 0.85 points per shot attempt. The Nets, however, are shooting 50.1% from the mid-range, which equates to approximately 1 point per shot attempt. And that's just from the mid-range. The Nets as a whole are shooting 58.8% on all two-pointers, which comes out to 1.18 points per shot attempt. Remember how I said 33% from 3 is the same as 50% from 2? Well, the league average three-point efficiency is 36.2, which equates to 1.09 points per shot attempt. So despite taking more shots in the mid-range than anywhere else on the floor, they're defying the traditional belief that the mid-range shot is a quote-unquote bad shot because they're just simply good enough to take them and make them. When you consider the mid-range scoring prowess of players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, this probably doesn't come as the biggest surprise in the world. But it actually goes a step further. The Nets have 4 players attempting more than 2 mid-range field goals per game while shooting 50% or higher. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, and TJ Warren. There isn't a single team in the NBA that has more than one player doing that besides the Brooklyn Nets. Real quick, guys, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Underdog Fantasy. With Underdog's NBA Pick'em, they make it super simple to win big. They've got individual player props to pick from for every single NBA game. All you have to do is pick higher or lower, and once you have your slip, make your wager and submit. You can make wagers for as low as $1 and win anywhere from 3 times your money all the way up to 20 times your money. And now with Pick'em Insurance, you can still win money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Sign up using code AlexHoops with the link in the description today, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Be sure to play responsibly, and thanks again to Underdog for sponsoring today's video. Now, to say that a large portion of this mid-range efficiency isn't predicated on the prolific scoring between Kevin Durant and Kyrie would be a little bit disingenuous, but that's not to say that the team as a whole isn't doing a lot to generate some of these shots for them and for others. Their movement off the ball has been fantastic, and they make intentional use of screens to generate good looks and force mismatches to create shots in the mid-range. They've leaned heavily on pin-down screens, with Curry coming up to receive the ball here, and then right into this screen from Morris to get into a completely uncontested shot. On this one, KD receives the pin down from Kyrie to get the ball near the elbow, before getting the ball back to Kyrie on the wing. KD sets a screen for him, but with the Wizards hedging Kyrie, it leaves Durant wide open in the corner to get the ball back and pull the baseline shot. This play starts off with Claxton screening for O'Neal, but keep an eye on KD as the play develops. He's going to loop around from the paint over to the corner while Claxton and O'Neal run this handoff, which leads to another handoff from O'Neal to KD for him to get into the jumper. Like I said, I won't pretend their mid-range scoring doesn't benefit a ton from just how incredible Kyrie and KD are as isolation creators in the mid-range, but there's just so much more going on to generate a lot of these good looks. The implications that this insane mid-range shooting ability has for the postseason are pretty significant. With so many teams opting to play drop coverage against the pick and roll, the Nets are going to be able to punish it by dribbling into open pull-ups. Alternatively, if teams decide not to drop against them in the pick and roll and instead they try to hedge, well then I already showed you what the Nets are capable of when teams are hedging against them. They've just got too many good passers and too good of chemistry that you won't be able to get away with hedging their pick and rolls. It's going to take a team that's highly switchable and positionally versatile to slow this team down. This offense is a well-oiled machine, and it's clear that this team has bought into the leadership from Jacque Vaughn. After a start to the season that had talking heads asking if the Nets should blow it up, it now looks like we should be asking ourselves the question, can this Nets team make it out of the East? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, let me know and be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks again to Underdog for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to click the link below to sign up now. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me, and I'll see you in the next one.